unusual in students, who's a little bit older, but age isn't what it's about. Know what you're about is what it's about. So he graduated, what, like 10 years ago? He can't even remember, so
2012, yeah.
2012, okay.
Yeah,
So 7 years ago, Taurean, I heard from him for a couple of years about what he was doing after that. He disappeared a little bit. And that's how it works, you know? It takes some time to think. It can take as long as it takes. And he has resurfaced, and this marvelous ensemble has resurfaced. So this is a chance for him to talk a little bit about it, and for us to learn a little bit about it. On behalf of the Department of Art, we are really glad you're here, Tyler.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And we're glad you could all have made it. And we'll see what else shows up. There's at least one other class that we know is ending right now. But please. So Taurean will talk a little bit, and maybe we can ask questions or something. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you guys for coming to the reception. So basically, my artwork is based on, it's inspired by hip hop and art history. So I call it art hop. It's a fusion of both. Basically, the series is wrapped around the theme of Lauryn Hill's album. So Lauryn Hill's a well-known hip hop artist and singer, songwriter. So the album's called The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So I kind of flipped the name. I kind of ripped off the name, called it The Re-Education of Taurean Washington. So I know basically each painting is a song. So if you look at the whole album, I think she has 16 songs, so there's 16 paintings. And for her, I think the theme, how I'm interpreting her theme was her pain, the relationships, society. Like, she was telling you her life. So like for me, I try to do the same. And some of them I kind of took over. And like, it was me and Lauryn Hill have a dialogue in this series. So some of them I'm saying, hey, I'm in the front, you're in the back, and then certain paintings that she's in the front and I'm in the back. So I think also this series, I knew I was coming to Hood. Like, this is like 2017. I was gonna come to Hood and do my show. So I kind of wanted to touch on the theme of education. So I know what that painting over there, I call it the Freedom Painter. That's kind of like my departure from Hood, like leaving Hood, and like just after having, like, you know, my cap and gown and kind of where I'm trying to head to. I call that the Freedom Painter. Just like the pain, the struggle, and trying to reach for a higher plateau, a higher sense of self. So basically, when I graduated, I thought I was like, you know what? I graduated. I'm gonna be famous. Like, I thought, like, as soon as I finished, like, I'm out of here. You know, so I think like I had a larger sense of self than I should have at the time. So like I think I think life humbles you in a certain way. So I tried to apply to grad school. I got rejected. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? And this art is still what I want to do for my life, but it took 5 years to find my voice and find my style. And I think this is where I'm at. So 2017 was like the big stride for me. And yeah, so this is my work, Re-Education of Taurean Washington.
Anybody have any, can we take questions?
Questions, yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about maybe in general or particular images or whatever? Yeah.
I wanted to know something about like the white eyes, because I'm like, you know, I really am drawn to the, you know, and I have, my piece doesn't have white eyes. So I was wondering, the piece that I have has like big eyes, and it's called, the piece that I have is called Cr8n, and it's based on Monk, and also you can say, you know, the contemporary riff on it, because it's
Yes.
the two.
Yes.
It's to me, the Cr8n brought to today,
Yes.
to the issues today.
Yes.
You know.
So I don't know. It's like a subconscious thing, like why I have eyes on one. So maybe maybe I'm trying to, like, I think with the ones that don't have the eyeballs, it's more like the idea. And then sometimes I try to identify someone with the eyeballs. So I guess they say like, what the eyes are like keys to the soul. So I try to like, so some of them I'm purposely trying to have you identify with that person. And sometimes I just say, you know, this is like, it can be interpreted in different ways. Yeah. So any other thoughts on the work?
Could you explain this one? Or like what was going on with you for a minute?
Oh, yes, so basically the song is, I think it's, I forgot what it's, oh, Every Ghetto, Every City. So she's kind of talking, Lauryn Hill was talking about like how things were when she was a child and where she came up and grew up. So I started thinking about just, you know, where I grew up and just back in when they had cassette tapes. I was playing Pac-Man, you know, I was born in '85, so I kind of had that whole thing like going way back. And, you know, of course you had the, and these stars here, I was born in Texas, so I was kind of playing on the stars. But yeah, so this is just kind of like nostalgic, like me going back in time, just thinking about it. So it's almost like, this is almost sort of me, but like, if you guys kind of notice, like if you are more knowledgeable about art, and you don't have to be, but I make a reference to like a lot of masters, a lot of, like I have the unibrow for Frida Kahlo, so I try to, she really, you know, was autobiographical in her work. So if you see the ones with the unibrow, you kind of see that's kind of like me kind of telling my own story. So yeah. So any other questions or
Well,
thoughts?
because I'm standing here with these two works, and I can't not see chains, shackles, and scarification, which I assume is what I'm looking at here, right?
Yeah.
What is slavery in this work? What is its presence and what is its meaning for you or in this work?
So I'm gonna start with this one.
Okay.
So this song was called Lost Ones. So I was thinking about you know, like you might win some, you just lost one. So I was thinking about W.E.B. Du Bois. He had the souls of black folk, and I had basically like the same pose that he was in the image. And I was thinking about his essay, The Talented Tenth. So I was thinking about what about the other ones, like, you know, the Talented Tenth. It was like, you know, it's like only the tenth of the people would bring the race forward, like the intellectuals, the ones that are groundbreaking but the other 9 would be left behind. So I'm like, this is called To the 9. So what about the other ones who may be oppressed or held back or disenfranchised? So I was thinking about those individuals. So I kind of had that in almost like the feather, kind of like freedom, overseeing that, you know, the person, but they're in chains, surrounded by chains. And I kind of went on this one was based on like Gordon the slave, and I didn't have a unibrow on that one because I wanted to give different interpretations, but this one's called Forgive Us, Father, They Not Know What They Do. So I was thinking about just the things that I saw the 13th on Netflix about that and the incarceration. But then I was also thinking like in terms of art too, like I feel like sometimes I've been like conformed to certain thinking, Eurocentric point of view. So this is actually kind of a take on lingerie. Like, so I kind of had like the scarring, but I didn't have it the way it was in the photograph. So I kind of had it like the cross hatching, and I used the blue, red, and yellow off the distill. So yeah, that was my take on it. Yeah.
You talked about how you changed or developed since you left Hood. Can you talk about that again? Like, what are some differences?
What are some differences?
Change
So
from then to now.
I think from then, like I worked on my scale a lot. I feel like I was able to feel the piece a lot. But then I started really looking at like artists of like the now. Like, you know, I know like at the time I was doing Kahinde, but I'm also looking at like Nina Chanel Abney, Trenton Adore Hancock. You know, of course Jeff Koons was already out doing his thing, but I started really looking at contemporary artists. Also, I was, you know, reading and getting into history, what's going on, and like trying to find a sense of self. I know like the freedom painter that had the butterfly that I'm painting. I was thinking about the Pan-African colors and that movement, returning back to Africa, trying to find a sense of self. So I think artistically, I've been able to push myself because I now use like a lot of, I kind of did at the time, but I was using like bold highlights. I try to want to get that punch, and I use spray paint. So I use spray paint, acrylic paint, and glitter glue. That's something I didn't do, so I wasn't like open to different mediums before. And so now I am with that, and I just want to continue to strive and improve. Yeah.
I'd like to know more about this one over here. A friend and I were looking at it and observing that it possibly reflects the apocalypse or
Wow. Okay. Wow. See, that's wow. I didn't even think about like
the code and hellfire.
This one's called, I believe, it's Superstar. This song, and it's like, "Come on, baby, light my fire," and it was like, music's supposed to inspire. Why aren't we getting no higher? But I was thinking about like I'm a Capricorn, so I was thinking about that, the goat, and then also a goat being the greatest of all time. So I was kind of playing with that acronym and like me being a goat, having the third eye with the vision, and just I feel like I'm like the sacrificial lamb in some ways. I feel like trying to bring things forward, but then I think that's what I was playing with. Like I'm in the fire, and I try to move things forward, try to be the innovator, but I don't know if the society will receive me. I don't know, so I feel like I'm like maybe. Hopefully I'm kind of bringing along another person behind me to move things forward. Yeah. So any other questions or thoughts?
I'm going to ask one more question.
Okay.
About what's over here,
Okay.
Excuse me.
around the corner here. The booty queen.
Oh wow.
Booty queen. So, I wouldn't say you're a drip or anything, but this painting has a lot more dripping than everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else is pretty clear and within lines, and this one doesn't. Why not? Why is that happening that way? Or what's that saying?
This is actually a third edition of. Does anybody know who Cr8n is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have like the figure that's squatted, and I believe it's the low-end theory or the Midnight Marauders. I'm trying to figure out which one, but they have this famous woman, this well-known woman that has like the black, red, and green, and she's like squatted. So I kind of was like playing on that, and she's the third edition. But in terms of like the drip, I just wanted to play with the color, and I just wanted to have, because I have one that's similar to that. Like I try to play with the color. But yeah, this was actually inspired by Picasso, Demoiselles d'Avignon, and like the figure that's on like the far right, that's squatted. So I was kind of playing on that, and I wanted to make this a little bit abstract for people. Like, what is lookout? I don't know. I try to play on that so people can kind of see. But on the song, it's on the doo-wop. And she's like, look out, watch out, watch out. So I was kind of playing with that, like, are you looking out for the booty? Or, I was thinking about different things, I don't know. So I was just kind of giving people an opportunity to look at that, yeah. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys. I mean, so each one, like I said, like that one over there is like based off Botticelli, the Birth of Venus. And then you have, that's kind of like a diptych where they're both together. So this is like, she's almost like a deity, like the black woman. I call this one a soul sister. And it's like about, of course, like in the album, it's about love and intimacy, also with the pain, but I try to cover this one. So this is kind of like my rendition of a kente cloth, going from this end to this end, wrapping around them, and this is off the Klimt to the kiss. So I was trying to play on that, and you'll see small things like negus, like, king, black king, or different things, or, I was just, trying to have something that's interactive, like with the space, because the ones with the chains over there, and Elizabeth, I want to thank her, because we were able to space things out, and I think how the space is going with these two, I knew I wanted these two together, but those two over there is good too, but yeah, I knew what I was doing when I was putting them together. Yeah, so I mean, this one is Liechtenstein, Happy Tears. So if you look at a few of them, if you kind of have some of that knowledge of art history, you'll kind of put it together. But yeah, but I just want to thank you guys for coming to the show. Like, it really means a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Brian.
Oh, that one over there. Oh, with the crown? Oh, yeah, definitely inspired by Basquiat. This is dedicated to my son. So my son, he has autism. So I was playing on the colors of autism and the pieces, like the puzzle pieces, and just kind of like, kind of like with the drapery, like he's a king, and his name is actually Kendrick, so it's Celtic for king. So I was kind of playing with that. So, and this was off the song Zion, which Lauren Hill's dedicated to her firstborn son, and he's my firstborn son. So I was kind of playing on that. So yeah. So I think is that it, y'all? Or anybody else have any thoughts or anything? But if not,
If you'd like to ask a question individually, we'll be around, and, please do.
yeah.
And
Thank you, guys.
And don't forget, there's some food around the corner, which you should all take if you have, okay? Yeah. All right?
Thank you, guys.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Are these, you have some for sale?
Oh, I'm sorry. And I have prints for sale,
Oh.
reproductive
Oh.
prints. So if you see over there, I have a table of different prints for you guys to check out. All my prints are 25, and also there's a postcard there. I have a pop-up show in December 14th. It's going to be at Slayton House in Columbia, Maryland. So it's, so that's what I've been doing also. Like other than just having gallery showings, I do my own independent pop-ups where I show my work like for a couple hours. Yeah. 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 That's good. Yeah, I'm happy to